Welcome to Anita Inspires. This podcast will motivate and inspire you to be better. With author and host, Anita Fontaboa.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Anita, and I am the host of Anita Inspires. And I am so happy to let you know I have a guest that you're familiar with, Miss Linda Grindel. Welcome.
Some people know me.
Yes. And in today's topic, we're going to be exploring 10 signs of smell, taste, dreams, and uncover their meaning and what their spiritual connections mean. And it's an honor to have Miss Linda Grindel here with me again. And I hope this inspires everyone.
I do too. And you're very good at interpretation.
Thank you. I want to start off with one question. How have you been? I know you had the fires up in your area.
Yeah, we are fine. So far, so good. My uncle just died though, so I'm trying to, I didn't even know if I'd be able to make this because I'm waiting to hear he'll be buried this day or this day. So
well, sending you lots of love.
Thank you. He was 88 and he lived a good life.
True. I have another thing that I want to touch upon. In your last video, you talked about Project 2025. And I know that some people are kind of deeply concerned and they're scared. And what's one piece of advice that you can share with us for people to be more positive and miss the fear mongering that's going on?
Because it's such an egregious proposition. It's almost laughable, right? But it's serious. I mean, these people really think they're going to build some place to put over a million, what they call illegals.
Yes.
In this prison. And yet, all the jobs that a lot of people do for us and all the Social Security that's being paid in.
The VA too, that they want to get rid of.
The VA, about women, about getting rid of women's rights to vote. It's not going to, here's the deal, you guys. Please forgive me that my friend Dan says, one thing about you is you speak with confidence.
Yes.
And sometimes I feel like, why do I have such confidence? Because I hear it from the other side. And I've been told beyond a reasonable doubt, this is actually going to help make sure he doesn't get in. Trump's not going to win. I don't care which way you cut it up.
Even my sister says she saw that Biden will win. And
is your sister psychic too?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's not going to win. He's not going to win. And I almost feel it'll be like England and France. You'll be surprised how many people come out and say, absolutely not. We do not want this man in there. It's interesting that they even think this is something that would go through, because I don't even worry about this. I'm not sitting there getting all upset reading this because I know it's never going to take place because he'll never win.
From your words to God's ears.
Look at that Le Pen. She made all kinds of behind the scenes. She was planning no, she's knocked out.
Well, at least we know for sure that they already wrote it down, and we know that that's what they want to plan to do. And we already know because it's out in the open now. Changing the framework of another question that I have. Do you have anything that your angels and spirit guides want to share with us today?
Not to worry. Get out of the worrying. Biden is the one who's going to run. Kamala is not being removed, or she won't step down, and she's not going to take a Supreme Court seat. Some people think that, and I respect those that think that. That's not what I see. She wouldn't go to Supreme Court. Even if they asked her if Biden lost, she wouldn't go to, well, Trump would never have her.
You did mention something in your last video that they're kind of afraid who will be the vice president pick that he's going to do to go against.
Yeah, it feels like it might not be the ones who got the orange powder on their nose. It feels like he might go off the beaten track if he doesn't really want to pick one, and he wants somebody who's just would lay there and take it.
He wants a yes person. That's what he wants.
He's also looking at those other people for money.
Yes.
So
yes.
He's not going to win, you guys, and more stuff is coming out about him.
I can't wait.
I know the mainstream media isn't picking up on the Epstein, but I feel some good stuff is coming out. I see the DOJ doing something even with the Supreme Court.
I can't wait. I know you mentioned that in your last video, so I can't wait. Thank you
I
for
just
sharing
trust my
this up.
guides. Please make it happen, please. I saw the black wreaths on the door at the of Washington. I said, somebody's getting ready to die.
I wonder, you said that, and the first name that came to mind, because I did have that sensation a couple of months ago, is Carter.
It could be Carter, but somebody just died. The guy who didn't believe in climate change, I think he was the governor of Oklahoma, ISOP or something like that. He died today.
Oh, wow. I didn't know.
So he was the senator. So they were just letting me know someone within the organization was going to die.
I've been trying to not let the fear mongering bother me. So I kind of like turned off the news, and I do what you do. I've been putting on, I have YouTube TV, so I'm able to just watch the weather. That's all I care about.
That's what I'm watching is the weather. I've watched that Pearl from the beginning when it was first a baby coming across. I can't turn on, but who I used to love was MSNBC.
So did I. I can't watch it anymore.
Believe Adam Schiff even recommended Biden step down.
Everyone wants to have their two pieces just to say to have their light in the spotlight for a second, but no.
And I canceled my New York Times. Not going there.
No, I don't want to either. So we're gonna dive into our main topic today about signs and the meanings found in dreams. That's what the first topic will be. And the first one that I want to touch upon is seeing a red cardinal in your dreams. And I love seeing a red cardinal. I love seeing red cardinals in person because it has like two meanings. For me, it's a loved one that has passed and they're coming to
I've heard that usually it's a loved one. Even if you see it while you're awake, it's a meeting of the spirit.
Oh, I had that happen right before the pandemic. My husband's grandfather passed away, and we were, with the pandemic that you were constantly at home, you couldn't go anywhere. We decided to go to the Campgrounds of America. That way we're out in the open, but we were closed off by ourselves there. And I looked up in nature and I saw one, and I'm like, and I knew, like my knowing knew that was him.
That was him for sure.
Around, yes. And then my second sign, I actually was driving down in June, and I was driving down with my daughter to take her somewhere, and cardinal just flew right in front of my car, and I'm like, and I knew it, and I'm like, oh my God, that's change. I've been manifesting. I've been wanting change. That's change that's coming. So fantastic. Those are my little signs of what that means when you see a red cardinal. Have you had any experiences like that?
Not with a cardinal, no.
My next one, the second one is dreaming that your teeth are falling out.
Oh, I've had that.
Do you want to share what it means to you when you have that in your?
Well, I found out later, and I understand at the time I was going through a real tough time, and I wasn't being honest with myself. Usually the teeth falling out is you're criticizing others or you're not being honest with yourself. That's what I picked up.
On my hand, when I was growing up with my grandmother, she told me that it usually means someone will pass. So anytime I've ever had a dream that teeth fall out, I mean, I could just be seeing someone that they're going to the dentist and they're pulling their teeth out. That means that I'll find out someone is going to pass. Sometimes it could be a family member. Sometimes it's someone you don't know. You just talking to someone, oh, so-and-so's thing passed away. And I'll find out that way. Sometimes it's even animals, know, there's some people that.
For some reason at that time, I didn't have any animals and no one had passed.
So that's what it means for.
I was looking in the mirror and I was like in the horror movies, I was pulling out my teeth.
Oh, wow. Wow. I usually, if that happens and I see that in a dream, I tend to start cleansing myself, saging my home and stuff, and just praying to see, hopefully it's nothing bad that will happen.
Right.
My next one is dreaming that you're going to be late. I've
dreamt that.
And for me, it's kind of like it might be like a missed opportunity, or like say you have an appointment and you have it so much in your head that you're so afraid that you start dreaming that you're going to be late for it, things like that.
Right. I dreamt about being late for a flight.
Okay.
I dream a lot about flying.
You do? It's strange. I just had a dream about flying, and I dreamed that I was in a plane and the plane was kind of landing and I knew it was Italy. I could see the buildings, but it was like so close and it landed on the water. But that was like normal. And we got out and I looked back and I saw the water and I saw like it was floating on top of it. I thought it was very strange.
Water is spirit.
Hmm. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
One of the dreams of being late, when with our last collaboration that we had to reschedule it so many times, I kept dreaming that I was going to be late, and I actually was, and I missed it because for some strange reason, when I looked at the time, it changed it for me. So I'm looking at it, and it was for 3 o'clock, like how it was now, and your time is 12 o'clock. But when I looked at it, it told me it was like 1, and I I got in, and I'm like, okay,
Oh my
I have time,
God.
and this and that, and that was the reason why I wasn't able to make that appointment. And I'm like, you know what? Something either didn't want us to collaborate at that time.
Oh
Something,
yeah. Yeah.
that's
That's what
basically what
usually
I
happens.
yeah, that's what I tune it to be. And
And really, I have do a lot of collaborations. I do readings every morning.
Mhm.
You kind of got to be in the mood.
Mhm.
And if I'm off, then it wouldn't work out so well. So
So
like today, I feel good.
I think that was the reason why it didn't work out. But it just kind of like means to be careful, to get your anxiety and the fear that you're missing out, like calming, trying to meditate to calm yourself too. That's what those dreams and interpretations of being late for something,
Yeah. Yeah.
working out and just trying to be calm. Um, my next one is dreaming that like you're being chased.
Oh,
Um,
I had that a lot.
um, give us like an example of if you want to let us know what your take is on like dreaming that
Mostly when I was younger, and
Mhm.
I would dream I was like a white man being chased by a native, which
Oh,
is
wow.
interesting because I have native blood.
Yeah.
So it's probably a past life dream.
Oh, wow. I had a dream when I was growing up. I know I'm thinking maybe 7, maybe 6 years old. I remember I kept having a dream that I was being chased by um I'm gonna say like a Doberman or like a pit bull. I'm not sure. All I know is that I was constantly running away from it and it kept jumping on me and like biting me. And I always would have those dreams and wake up. Well, I guess it got to the point where like I told my parents, and my parents told me just to stand and not to move and like kind of like face it. And I'm like, okay. And don't you know, later on, I had another dream, and this time I just stood there and I saw it walk right by me. So I was like, okay, so it's
When
kind
you
of like,
face your fear. Yeah.
yes, that's kind of like what it means when you're feeling that you're being chased. You have to face your fears in order for that to stop. You have
Right.
to seek out what it is within yourself that's causing you to have those dreams.
Right. Right.
Oh, that's good. Um, my next part of that is kind of like having paralyzing dreams. When you're dreaming and all of a sudden you can't move, you feel like you're
Yeah. Or you're waking up and you can't move because you're in
yes,
between state. Yeah.
yes. It's kind of like for me, my interpretation of that is you're like around negative energy or something around you is or you're picking it up. And I always cleanse myself when that happens, or I try to shift positions. Sometimes it happens again, and that's when I have to just get up and go either drink water or just cleanse myself, take a little incense stick and just cleanse myself, or like my selenite, just pass it around myself to
Around you,
like
yeah.
cleanse the air, the energy that's surrounding me, so that can kind of like calm myself down. Have you had that happen to you?
Yeah, but I take it as being unable, you're in dream state versus awake state. So
Mhm.
sometimes connecting that way is hard.
Okay.
Shirley MacLaine used to talk about it in her books. It's almost like you're traveling, you try to get back in your body and you can't. But I've even known that I was still dreaming and I would tell myself, wake up.
Oh, wow. I wish I could. When that happens to me, it hasn't happened as often now as it used to when I was younger. I knew I was awake because I could still
Yeah.
feel that, and I would try to like kind of turn to touch my husband, like, hey, like something's happening, and I just couldn't get out. And then when it would pass, that's when I would move, and I would try to move positions. I wouldn't try to stay in the same position so it could go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So we're now going to move into about signs, but this time about smells. Signs and what they mean. One common experience is cigarettes, like when you smell tobacco or cigarettes. I've known people who have told me, oh my God, like, don't you smell the cigarette or don't you smell the tobacco? And I'm like, I don't smell it. For me, it's like this spiritual connection of like someone who passed, like someone who used to smoke that's kind of like what you would be smelling.
Well, when I'm reading someone and somebody comes in and I smell the strong smell of cigarette, I usually ask them, did your father or your mother or whoever smoke? And they usually say yes.
I've never had that happen. I've had other things happen, but I know a lot of people, even my sister will say at times, like, I smell cigarettes. And I'm like, there's nothing around here. Like, I'm not sure who it is.
But it's probably from the spirit. It's probably someone who smoked.
Yeah. Sometimes I think it might be like one of our ancestors that we don't know about. That might just come up and kind of say, hey, I'm here. You smell it in the air. Yeah. The other one that is my favorite is smelling roses or rose perfume. For me, it means like the Virgin Mary. That's anytime I smell that for me is my sign that the Holy Mother is around me, and I can feel.
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to get it a lot.
I
don't get it as much now, but I would be overcome with that sweet smell.
Oh, I love when I smell it. I just smelled it right before the school let out. So I work for the school department, and I'm walking down the hallway going up the stairs, and I smelled it, and I'm like, and it's just random. Like, you don't know, like, why would you smell that just walking around? Just very random. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's here. I was like, okay, welcome. I welcome you. I'm so happy that you're here. I always say thank you.
There you go. That's the way to do it, girl.
Yes, that sensation. It could also mean, besides the Virgin Mary, it could be like a loved one that has passed. You could be smelling the scent that they usually wore when they were alive.
Well, I had a very dear girlfriend that died 17 years old when we were in high school, leukemia. She was the first dead person I ever saw. And at the funeral, you know that sweet smell of the funeral?
No.
The flowers and everything, the funeral, you know, they have
when they have the flowers and
there's a smell. There's definitely a smell. And it would come in my room on occasion. I knew she was visiting.
Oh,
it was her.
So for all of you, that's what that means when you smell roses or you smell like any type of perfume. Even it could also be like a cologne from a man that you might smell that just pop in when you least expect it, like it does for me at times. It's a love one. Yeah. The other one that I get to smell a lot, and this happens more often now, is incense. Like, I'll smell incense in the air.
I've never smelled that.
I have, and usually when I smell that, that means for me, like, my spirit guides want me to cleanse my space or cleanse myself. For me, that's what it means for me. I don't know what it could be for others, but when I smell incense, that's what it means for me.
Wow.
Yeah. And for me, I like it because if there's something negative or anything like that, you know, it will clean it. Yeah, get rid of it. So here we're gonna move on. The next one of a smell is like a bad smell or something rotting.
Oh.
When you smell that, it could be like a funky odor or BO, as some people would say. For me, it means like there might be like a spirit around you. When it's not smelling too good, it could be negative. Or I believe Sue Lynn once said that she had a smell that popped into her car and it was from a homeless person. So that could also be the smell that you might smell.
That can happen, yeah.
And what I do is
there's evil, straight up evil though. I've smelt that.
Yeah.
I've smelt evil.
And what I usually do is I ask it to leave and I ask it to go to the light. And I ask for St. Michael to get rid of it. And they do. And he does.
When I've done clearing of people's homes, sometimes we'll all smell that. It's terrible.
Yes, 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 exactly. My husband said that he's a police officer, and usually when bodies are like decomposing, the officers use a vapor rub of Vicks to put it on their
Oh, yeah,
so they
because
don't
it's a
have the smell.
terrible smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And this could also be true when you are, say that you're walking into like a new job or a new home that you're going to be visiting for the first time, that you're thinking of buying or you're thinking of renting. If you smell that, I don't know if I want to rent or buy that. Something is
No,
telling you right off the bat that you have to
no,
be careful.
yeah.
It's a sign given to you right
There's
away
some
for you to
people
know.
really, really are very sensitive to smell.
I am. I am. I am. That I know for sure.
I raised two
Um,
little boys, and they was always in the tub.
well, I have one of each. I know boys tend to, the smell doesn't bother them. It doesn't.
No, they didn't care, including my nephews. They all went through that awkward time
Mhm.
where
Yeah.
they would stink, their hair would stink and stuff.
Well, it does happen. Thank you for sharing your perspective on the sense of smells. We're gonna go on and explore the signs and meanings associated with taste. One of them is like when you get like a sour taste in your mouth. Have you ever had that happen?
No.
Like you with a taste, like something sour that you start tasting in your mouth and you're like this doesn't taste good or whatever. For me, it could be like you might be around someone who can be envious or some type of conflict or something. It could either be with someone that you're speaking or you're going to speak with, a coworker or a family member. You just start getting like that sour taste in your mouth, like, ugh.
Interesting. Yeah, I've heard of metallic taste.
I haven't heard of a metallic.
Metallic taste is usually means you're sick.
Oh, wow. I didn't know.
Start getting metallic taste in your mouth.
No, I never heard of
Some
that.
people, before they go into a seizure, will have a metallic taste in their mouth.
Oh, wow. Never heard of that. No.
Yeah.
The next one that I often get sometimes is coffee, the taste of coffee. Yeah. I'm not sipping coffee.
You mean you're not sitting with a cup of coffee?
No, you start like kind of like now you just get like a sour taste in your mouth and you're like wondering like, why am I tasting this, and that's kind of like what it means. For me, coffee taste, when I taste coffee in my mouth, for me it means my grandmother, because she used to make coffee all the time. So I know that's what I
Was it a good coffee?
Well, Café Bustelo is what normally in my family we drink, but
that stuff would wake you up if you were a dead man.
Oh, yes, yes. Like that's my spiritual message or symbol when I have like the taste of coffee in my mouth. Some people believe it might be like a sign of an awakening or a higher awareness, attention to your surroundings. It's like thinking when you get that taste in your mouth, you have to reflect on what were you thinking in that moment or what your emotions were when you get that sense of taste in your mouth.
Right.
For example, you could be thinking of your father or someone who passed away who was drinking, who used to drink coffee. And for me, it might be random. I just get that taste in my mouth and I'm like, no, I don't want to drink coffee, but I just get it. So I know, okay, I associate it one by one, that's what it means for me.
That's what it means.
Yeah. The other one that I have is the taste of honey. Sometimes
Whoa, you're the first one I've heard that.
Yeah. They say that it symbolizes sweetness, healing, abundance. Tasting it spiritually can be a blessing, good fortune, positivity in your life. I know that when I get to taste it, it means like something's coming, like something that I haven't been expecting will come, which is like a good news, or it could be a package that might be coming when I get that taste in my mouth.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, you're lucky to have that.
Yeah.
I don't have it.
Have you ever had any of the other like signs of taste or any other ones that you're familiar with?
No, in fact, I get psychic hits. I don't get taste or smell or audible. Well, yeah, my guides talk to me audibly. I hear a man speaking in my right ear.
I usually have a picture that pops up, and then I'll start asking questions, and then I'll feel it, I'll sense it. I won't hear it, I'll visually see the word. So if I ask it something, I'll either get a yes or I get a no.
Oh, I get that. I'll get like, I could see a big no or a big yes.
Or like if I ask, like, when am I moving? I'll see the month or whatever it is. I'll see it flash in my mind's eye. I get it.
Guess it. You got to take it.
Yes, yes, yes.
You can't second guess it.
No, and that's the other thing. Like I tend to, if I get a sign about something, I tend to second guess it, and I want to get another sign. So I'll ask them something that I will not randomly see. I'll ask. Sometimes I'll get it, and sometimes I don't. But it's kind of like them saying, "Oh, come on, we're doing this again. You already know. I already told you."
Yeah.
The other one that I think my sister mentioned this, or I heard someone say, but chamomile tea. Like when you have the taste of chamomile tea.
What is that?
Chamomile tea is chamomile. It calms you. It's a tea. Chamomile.
Oh, yeah.
Chamomile. It's like a little yellow flower that you boil and you make tea out of it.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like a relaxation, a distressor.
So you're not drinking it and you'll get the taste of it.
Yes. Yeah. It's like a gentle nudge from your angels or your guides, kind of like to take a moment for self-help, self-care, well-being, to take that moment to reflect on your thoughts, thinking about, because sometimes we always think about, oh my God, like I have to pay this, I have to do this, I have, like your mind is constantly just going. And sometimes they'll stick that, like, that sign, the chamomile tea. And it's kind of like to tell you, like, slow down, calm down. Yeah, that's what I take it and I interpret it. I also say to take a moment and meditate, because meditation helps to calm you down. Just like how you've mentioned, doing those 3 breaths. So kind of like.
That's the Tao. Eckhart Tolle talks about it. Wayne Dyer talked about it. You do 3 deep breaths a day. And
it does help. It kind of like slows you down, and whatever you were thinking in that moment that your mind is just buzzing and going a mile a minute, it kind of takes you a step.
Yeah, well, also what it does is awakens you. Those 3 breaths put you into consciousness, because we walk around unconscious all the time. We're so busy in our head thinking and rethinking. When we do those 3 breaths, we're awake. And that awakeness vibrationally makes you higher. So what you ask for can tend to happen more than when you're constantly worrying or overthinking things. Exactly. My angels told me like to create a meditation video. So I have like 3 of them that I've created because of it. And I like it because it kind of like when you sit down and you have that just 5 minutes where you can just calm down, do your 3 breaths and just be in the moment, even in silence. I believe Eckhart Tolle even said that. Just sit in silence. Yeah. Do those. Or if you're on the road and somebody shakes you up, almost hit you or something. I practice it. I do the 3 deep breaths so I can calm myself down. Yeah, because you don't want road rage or because the old Linda would have been cray-cray. You know what I'm saying? Yes, exactly. That's been our 3 topics for smells, taste, and dreams for today's podcast. Thank you so much, Miss Linda Grindel, for joining us today and sharing your wisdom. Thank you. Always a pleasure having you on my show. And I want to give a special thank you to your angels and your guides. Oh, they rock, right? Yes. They're so cool. Yes, they are. If you've enjoyed this episode, hit the like button and the bell so you can get notified each time we post a new video. And please follow Miss Linda Grindel on her YouTube channel, Linda G. Comanche Psychic, and my channel, Anita Inspires. Thank you so much. Follow Anita. Yes, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, sweetie.
And books mentioned on the show, visit anitainspires.com or anitafontaboa.com. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Like and subscribe to never miss a show. Leave me a comment if this topic resonated with you. And share it with your friends and family. Anita Inspires is inspiring you to be better.